And welcome back to episode 3 of Buying the Hobby. It's Connor and Dante. And Dante, today's a very important day.
It's a great day.
It's a great day. It's snowing outside in Rochester.
Yeah, what is that?
It's April 8th right now.
I know.
Tomorrow is my birthday.
Is it
and
really?
The only reason I bring it up is, this is so off topic.
He wants gifts.
No, I don't. But my mom was telling me the day that I was born, it was like 90 degrees out.
Ooh.
And I was thinking about that when I woke up today for some reason, and I look outside and there's snow on the ground.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, whatever. Sorry, off topic. And I was born in Rochester too, so ironic. But
No, this cold's got to go away.
it's got to go.
It's spring.
It's that stupid hedgehog or groundhog or whatever the heck it's called.
Exactly. It didn't see its shadow or did see its shadow.
Phil, whatever.
We should
But
just have Connor pop out. And be like,
no,
nah, it's spring.
no more snow.
No more snow. It's spring. It's ready to go. It's the baseball season.
I
now.
agree. I know, baseball season. How's your team doing right now?
Yankees are all right. I mean, we're off to a solid start.
We beat you guys one game.
You did.
Just
You
letting
did.
know.
Two-
Snow.
every series for the Yankees has been like 2-1.
Yeah.
Except the Tigers. It's about to go. About to lose too. So.
It's the opposite of. Yeah, you have Screwball. You guys playing against
Oh,
Screwball today.
he's pitching great.
He's 0-2, I thought.
Well, he was pitching great against the Yankees.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well,
Makes sense.
listen. There is a lot of baseball is great.
Oh,
big fan of it, but we're both big football guys.
Of course.
And do you know what's right around the corner?
We got the NFL draft coming up. at the
Freaking
end of
NFL
April.
draft.
Oh, it's one of the best times of the year.
I'm fired up.
There you go.
The season starts. And they had, I think, Miss Peebles put this together for us.
Ooh.
She had a first 5 meta AI picks. You let me know what you think about this.
Okay.
Titans taking Cam Ward at 1.
As I would expect.
Browns taking Abdul Carter.
Yep.
Giants taking Travis Hunter.
Yep.
The Patriots taking the lineman from Missouri, Armand.
Yep.
And then the Jags taking Calvin Banks.
Yep. So all sounds about accurate. 2 offensive linemen in the first 5. I think this is an interesting draft this year because it's not your quarterback heavy like last year,
Right.
or maybe 2 years ago. But of course, you do have your Cam Ward at the top, and there's a lot of question marks. What do those first 3 teams do?
Right.
Do the Titans go to a quarterback and go Cam Ward, or do they go to the defensive side? And in my opinion, I think you do go that Cam Ward route. Get a quarterback when you have a chance, because that would be such a Titans or number 2 pick, Browns thing to do,
Right.
to let the quarterback sit, and they end up going to be one of the best
stud.
quarterbacks
Right.
to ever do it. Because the Browns didn't get Patrick Mahomes.
Right. But on the contrary, Browns are also known for taking quarterbacks in the first round that never work out.
Well, yeah.
I mean, other than like Baker Mayfield, who they ended up trading anyways.
Yep.
You know, but yeah, no, I think it's going to be interesting. I agree with you. I mean, we saw last year. I don't think Will Levis is really that guy. Where was he drafted?
He was drafted top 2nd round.
Was he top
I believe
second
top
round?
2nd round because he fell through the first, and there were all those iconic meme pictures.
I know. People hate on him, and I understand why.
I don't hate on Will Levis.
I try not to. I
know.
understand where people come from. I mean, he beefed a couple of games last year. A lot of games.
I watched one in person. It wasn't great.
But like he physically can do it. He's got
I think
raw
so too.
talent.
Just an awful situation.
Yeah,
He
it's a tough
didn't really
spot.
have many weapons to throw to. He had D-Hop for like a minute and then lost that. But he's also an aging D-Hop.
Right.
He had a 1 year of Derrick Henry.
Right. He had a Keenan Westbrook who was really good.
True.
He's gone though. He's on the Fins now.
Yeah. So I just don't think he's a guy where I see like a Baker or Sam Darnold. It's going to take a couple spots, and maybe Tennessee's not that spot.
So if they go out and draft Cam Ward, do you think the same thing's going to happen?
I think
because they didn't really improve their offense. I mean, did they get any wide receivers? You still have Calvin Ridley, right? Is he still there?
Yeah, Calvin Ridley's still there.
I mean, do you think that he's going to do any better? I think Cam Ward's obviously a better player, but like,
I don't know.
Do you think he's being set up for success in Tennessee?
No, no. I don't think anybody is right now.
That's my
just
problem.
because I don't think their offensive line's that great.
That's
it's all right.
Sorry, not to like deep dive and go off on a tangent, but like
no.
that's one thing I've always tried to like figure out. Like, yes, you have loaded teams. You go to a good team. Like, take Xavier Worthy, for example, like going to the Chiefs. It was going to be a fit either way because you have Patrick Mahomes.
Of course.
You have all these different situations on really, really good teams.
And slot receivers have worked in that situation.
Right. What about like teams like the Browns, like the Lions, that like, what are you supposed to do in that situation as like a GM when your team is just not good? Like, you are setting up anybody you draft for failure, it seems like.
And sometimes you got to go through those years, unfortunately.
It sucks. I feel like that's what the Titans are going through right now.
But it takes one special quarterback to change everything. I think Houston is a perfect example. People want to play in Houston now.
I love that.
Because C.J. Stroud got drafted into it. All right situation.
Yeah, not great.
I don't think it was amazing.
But like they had players on the back end that people didn't realize. Like Nico Collins,
Stingley was there.
Derek Stingley.
Like they had a decent roster. Maybe there's some of those guys trickled in with Tennessee, especially on the defense. They don't have a bad defense.
No,
their defense is not that bad.
As a Chargers fan, they beat the snot out of us.
Yeah, they don't have a bad defense.
Right.
Their just offense does not work right now. So I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the head coach.
I think it's the line.
Yeah,
the line.
And they were good for a long time with Derrick Henry. Like, all you had to do was hand it off, and they were able to push, but it's not the same offensive line as it was a couple of years ago. Yeah. I just don't think Will Levis isn't right for that system. Maybe Cam Ward is.
Yeah.
That's why I do think he goes number one. I just think it's too tough to pass up. I don't think they need. I think the only other question would be if you take Abdul Carter, but I just don't think the Titans need Abdul Carter.
What about Travis Hunter? That was my first thought. Was like, okay, I personally don't mind Will Levis. I wish they would have done something in the offseason, like sign like a decent like backup quarterback that could maybe compete for that spot. Yeah. Then they don't have to go out and put all their eggs in a quarterback basket and then tank them and see what happens. Yeah. But what do you any thought on Travis Hunter going number one overall? You think it's a stretch?
I don't think it's a stretch. I think system is so important. I'll say it time after time. I don't think Titans is even remotely close to the right system. I do think a New York would be a perfect system.
I agree.
For him. Cleveland, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I think New York's a good position, but like the big question is, what does he play?
Yeah.
Like, is he playing corner or is he playing wide receiver?
I think he's
either way. I think he works.
Both.
Either way, I think he works.
You think he plays both?
I think so.
I think so.
Could he be the first player to? Oh, don't quote me.
To truly do it.
Well, I look at that, but I was also going to say to win offensive and defensive player of the year. Like, could that happen?
That would be. That's no way. There's no way.
It would have to be the first person ever.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever done that.
No, I don't. Not a lot of people played both sides of the ball.
No,
I mean Dion.
Yeah,
kinda.
The only person that like semi did it for like half a season was like Jabril Peppers, but he did. Didn't he in college flip back and forth, and then he went to the NFL.
Yes, he was at Ohio State,
and
right?
And then ended that. Now he just plays like safety or something.
Corner safety, yeah. He was at Ohio State.
Yeah,
Peppers?
Michigan.
Michigan. Sheesh. Browns for the Browns, right? Plays for the Browns.
Probably.
Nope. Plays for the Giants. He's got moved around. He's a good player.
He's been moved around. Oh yeah, of course.
Sorry, off topic.
I mean, no, but sticking on defense because we talk about Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter. Like I said, is the only other person I think I would put at that one, but I don't think the Titans need him.
I agree.
But you want to talk about Micah Parsons 2.0 is Abdul Carter.
The Browns, if I'm the Browns, I am jumping all over Abdul Carter.
100%. You're
over.
Crazy.
Now that they brought Myles Garrett back another year, which thank goodness for them. I mean, good for Myles Garrett, but they needed him.
Yeah, and
that defense is loaded.
It is loaded.
It might be my favorite defense in the NFL. Is that crazy to say?
No, I don't think so at all. It's just their offense can't play.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
well, Deshaun didn't help last year.
Issues. Oh, nobody helped.
If Deshaun was healthy, I think we were talking about before the pod started. If Deshaun was healthy, would you rather start Kenny Pickett or Deshaun Watson right now? I would rather start Kenny.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
That's another player that everybody rips on, and I understand he had some bad games. Matt Canada was his offensive coordinator and dictated everything from out of the gate, right? Matt Canada goes away. First game, he goes away. Throws for his first 300-yard game and wins the game. I'm just saying, obviously, I don't think Kenny Pickett's the next gosh darn Tom Brady.
No.
But I don't think he's as bad as what people say he is.
No, he could be like a Ryan Tannehill.
He's better than Will Levis.
Yeah, of course, I'd agree.
You know?
The thing is with Deshaun, now I'll touch on this carefully. Like, I think he's got juice left in him.
Really?
I don't think it's with the Browns. Like, I think if you put Deshaun Watson in a Minnesota Vikings system, he'd throw for 45.
Anybody would, obviously, with Jay Jettis. No, I
just don't think Stefanski is the right.
I don't disagree. I mean, we saw glimpses of that, and obviously with the Texans, he was a beast.
Yeah.
But like with everything going on, the whole scandals, I think like mentally he won't ever be
Oh,
there.
he's done. Yeah.
I think he's done
get it.
mentally. I think physically he could be one of the best quarterbacks out there.
Oh yeah.
But I think mentally his game is shot. I mean, who knows?
Mhm.
Maybe this injury was a blessing for him, and maybe he comes back and takes it over. But I don't know. I'm so in love with this Browns defense, and if they draft Abdullah Carter, think about it. You have Myles Garrett, Abdullah Carter. I think is Tomlin. You want to look up for me? Who's their DT? Is it Tomlinson? I can't remember who they picked up. But they also have Jeremiah Wosu
Jim
Koromo.
Schwartz.
Yep. Who's not bad. You have Jeremiah Wosu Koromo, who's one of my favorite like dual safety linebackers in the league. Denzel Ward, one of the best corners in the league. You have Greg Newsome on the other end.
Yep.
I mean,
they have a good defense.
Right.
A very good defense.
Grant Delpit at safety, the LSU kid.
Yep.
I mean, that defense is nasty.
It is.
It's curious because that division is just loaded. Like the
it's very
Steelers, even though the Steelers don't look like their normal Steelers, they still have Mike Tomlin. You have the Bengals.
I mean,
and
their
you have
defense
the
is
Ravens.
loaded too.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a tough. That whole entire. Well, I guess the Bengals, their defense is atrocious.
Awful.
But the Ravens, the Browns, and Steelers all have very good defenses.
Right. No, I agree.
So it's all about whoever has the best offense.
Man, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but I just want your idea. The win totals came out on DraftKings.
I did see some of them. Yeah.
Bengals are at, I think it was 9.5. Do you like the over or the under? I got into a fight with Nick on stream the other day about it.
Probably over.
I don't like that. How did they get any better?
They didn't.
I'll tell you how
I guess
they did.
more job security, if that helps. But like, still, I don't think that affected them last year.
I understand that. They got rid of Trey Hendrickson. 19 sacks. 18 sacks?
And Sam Hubbard retired.
Sam Hubbard retired.
Yep.
So you're telling me that defense that put up 30 points against every single game is now going to be better than they were last year?
I totally get it.
Joe Burrow had his best season ever.
Yep.
Couldn't even make the playoffs?
I thought Joe Burrow, realistically, with a better record, he would have won MVP.
Oh, I think
he
so
was
too.
the best.
He makes the
quarterback
playoffs. He wins MVP.
Oh, he was the best quarterback in football last year.
I agree.
He statistically he'd be over Josh Allen
I agree.
and Lamar Jackson. You can't if you don't make playoffs, you can't win MVP.
I agree. I agree 100%. That's what scares me about it. The Bengals are going to be interesting because they're going to be good. I know they're going to be good, but I don't know if I can get it over 10. I'm going to stay away from that line. I think it's at like minus 130. I'm probably going to stay away from it.
So talk to me. Who do you think the Chargers should draft first? I know we talked about it a couple weeks ago. You're looking tight end out of Penn State. Is there anybody else maybe?
I like Loveland.
Okay.
From Michigan, I could say there's a
Loveland's
lot of
good.
There's a lot of ways we can go about this.
Oh, yeah.
Offensive line, obviously. I don't know. I'm banking on a tight end. But did you see who we went and got? We got
Mr. Tyler Conklin.
Yeah, Tyler Conklin. Which I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
I like Tyler Conklin.
It's not your tight end for the future, but
Better than Will Disley. Shout out Will Disley. Love Will Disley, but like, I don't know.
I think for the Vikings, I'm hoping they go like safety because they really need a safety of the future, and I think Malachi Starks is the perfect player for them out of Georgia.
Love that.
Probably the best, if not one of the best safeties in college football last year.
I love that. Where is he? Where did you say he was from?
Georgia, born and raised too.
Where are you guys drafting? 24?
I believe just about like 27.
27.
20. No, you're very, very on 24.
My draft.
You could go. I don't think they go corner, but I think safety would be because they don't need anything offensively.
I like it.
Couldn't need anything offensively, but defensively.
Offensive line? No, you guys are
their
pretty...
offensive line stacked.
Yeah,
now.
you're right.
Will Fries.
You're right. Who's the center? Because you guys got rid of Bradbury.
It's
I love that. I loved Bradbury.
Only maybe the best center in the NFL from the Colts.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What
they just stacked up the whole Colts.
We were
offensive
looking
line.
to get him too. Kelly, is that his name?
Yeah, Ryan Kelly.
Yeah, Ryan Kelly.
They stacked up their offensive line.
Why did you guys get rid of
football?
Why'd you guys get rid of Bradbury though? He was good.
I don't know. I think it was just so I was actually reading the other day. Apparently, they never expected to sign either of these two offensive linemen in free agency. It wasn't even something on their mind. But then a quick conversation with like Ryan Kelly turned into also signing Will Fries because he was like, "Oh, you want to go to Minnesota and play with the great running back?"
Will Fries is a beast too.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah, he's so good.
And then you got Darisaw and O'Neal.
Yep.
There's a question mark. I don't want to say question mark at their fifth offensive lineman because honestly, they got a lot of great guys to stack up, but they can move people in and out.
Yeah, as long as you have your left tackle, you got your tackles.
They traded Udo, so I think he's with the Texans now. But they stacked up. So it's really, I think, locking down a safety of the future.
Yeah.
Maybe a cornerback, but we do have Blackman coming back from a torn.
Yep, ACL.
I believe ACL.
Or Achilles, maybe.
One of the two.
Yep.
He's coming back. He had a really good season 2 years ago.
It sucked that we never got to see Jeff Gladley play. I mean, he was such a beast in college.
And Kyrie Jackson too.
Kyrie Jackson too.
Kyrie
yeah.
Jackson.
Man, so unfortunate.
Oh yeah. I was excited for him. I was excited for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's different this year. Last year, the draft just was everything for me because of being able to take quarterback so high, what the Vikings haven't done since maybe like Christian Ponder, maybe Christian Ponder, because Teddy went very far in the first round and we didn't expect them to take quarterback. It's a little different this year. Last year I was checking mock drafts every day, hoping like some way, somehow.
I keep seeing the same thing.
Like
for
a
us,
Jaden
dude.
Daniels just like fell. Or like a
that's
Drake
what
May.
That's what I'm saying about like Ashton Genty this year. Can Ashton Genty get to 22? There's no shot.
No shot.
Well, anyway, so back on that topic. Giants, Travis Hunter, you loving that fit? I think
it's a great fit.
I love it.
I think it's a great fit.
I think that's exactly where he's going.
I agree with the Dable, which my thoughts on Dable, a conversation for another time.
Are you not a fan?
I'm not a fan of Dable.
Really?
No, I just don't think he's a great coach.
Very aggressive.
He's something.
He's a good coach when it's going well, which doesn't happen a lot, and he gets frustrated with his players when it's not, and he's not scared to voice it.
No, very fair.
You know,
I should probably watch what I say, but
no, that's okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I think Travis Hunter's
that's what we're here for.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
We're here to criticize.
I think Travis Hunter's a stud. I've always been a big fan.
Agree.
Did I think he should win Heisman?
No, Genty.
I think Genty should win.
That's fair.
I genuinely,
fair.
I can make a genuine argument for 3 players: Travis Hunter, Genty, and Cam Ward. I don't think Cam Ward's stats were talked about enough. Cam Ward was the best quarterback in football last year.
I agree.
And arguably had led the best offense in college football, but their defense was so bad that they couldn't make the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
They were so bad.
They
They were realistically an undefeated team if they had a half-decent defense. It was so bad. They were playing shootouts 50-50 every game.
I know. With every single team. Didn't matter who it was.
And you want to talk about, which I think shows a lot of grit in a player, and this is why I think he will stay high, maybe number 1, is he fell behind in probably half his games last year.
Yeah.
Like they probably trailed by 10+ in half their games last year.
And he came back.
And won.
The thing about when I was watching Cam Ward, I remember at the beginning of the season last year, I can't remember who they were playing. It was an okay team, like nobody crazy. But like, dude, it looked so easy for him.
It's so easy.
He like walks around out there. I cannot wait to see what he looks. He's so natural. Almost, I wouldn't exactly say he reminds me of Lamar Jackson.
So I was just about to ask a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Who do you think you're competent? I was thinking about this all the way on my drive here.
What do you think?
I don't know. Is he like a Russell Wilson? Like a young Russell Wilson,
Yeah.
but less or more mobile?
He reminds me of a mix between him and Lamar Jackson almost.
Yeah,
he doesn't move
he's an
like
interesting
Lamar.
Comp. He's his own player.
But I feel like he could if he wanted to.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dude, I remember watching the play, under pressure, avoids, like 50%, avoids a rollout and just walks it about 30 yards downfield and just out of bounds, resets, throws a touchdown next play. It was the most insane thing I've ever seen.
What's up with Washington State with the sneaky quarterbacks? Gardner Minshew
Yeah,
and
right?
then Cam Ward.
Yeah.
And then, luckily he got out. I mean, he was great at Washington State and then went down to Miami. It was perfect fit.
Ryan Leaf played at Washington
There
State.
you go. Oh,
He was nasty back then.
Oh, I
though.
remember.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
well, we don't remember. That was before us. But I remember seeing clips.
It's like those smaller random red schools,
Right.
I will say, that are always producing some sneaky quarterbacks.
Right. I know, it's weird.
Sneaky quarterbacks.
It's so random.
So I will say, because I do want to go on my little rant as like a player that I think is good. Very biased opinion here. Very biased opinion that nobody's talking about. Well, people are talking about.
I know where you're going with this, and I love it. I agree 100%. I think he was a beast at Ohio State. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
Thoughts on Kyle McCord?
Love him.
Thoughts
Love
on Kyle McCord out of Syracuse?
Where's his projection?
So he's kind of all over the place. He went from a 7th round projection, maybe mid-season, all the way up to like a 3rd round. So he could kind of move around that 3rd, 4th, 5th. But I think he ends up getting taken in the 3rd. I think he was one of the best quarterbacks college football. I do have some issues, and I'll talk about it in a sec. He threw for 4,779 yards, 34 touchdowns, 66% completion rate, but 12 interceptions. His decision making at times was very bad.
Well, it's kind of tough when you're playing with Syracuse.
I know.
You know.
But he was set up very well. Very good offense last year.
He did.
Ronnie Gazin.
Yep, running back.
LaQuint Allen, Meeks, Pena. Like, he had such a good offense. And maybe it was just because he made him better. I don't know.
Right.
But Kyle McCord could be a very sneaky quarterback. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm crazy. But put him in a Rams system.
You think so?
Put him in a Rams system. When once Matthew Stafford retires, it might be a match made in heaven.
I love it.
It might be a match made in heaven.
That was
Or maybe even like the Jets.
Yeah.
Could be interesting for him. I don't think he's going to start right away. It might be maybe he'll be a backup forever, but like
that's okay. That just feels good.
Sometimes you need your Matt Moores or your.
Hey, listen, Syracuse had a stud come out, Donovan McNabb. You know, could happen again.
He put up Donovan. He put up better stats. Than Donovan McNabb.
That's what I'm saying.
He put up better stats than Donovan McNabb.
I'm not trying to be biased either, but I like him a lot.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
My grandpa thinks he should be a #1 overall pick. That's it. What he keeps telling me. I was like, all right, great.
I think he got a lot of hate at Ohio State, and now.
Yeah.
I mean, his stats went up as a starting quarterback at Ohio State with some of the best weapons in the country, one of the best offensive in the country. He only threw for 3,170 yards and 24 touchdowns, completion rate 65, which was down, and then went up 1,600 the next season. Dang. Granted, competition's a little different in ACC.
It's still not awful though in comparison to Syracuse.
Oh, of course.
Like if you compare what Ohio State's playing against to what Syracuse is and what they're playing against, I think it's about. Who are like the bigger games Syracuse plays? Boston College,
Miami too.
And
they beat Miami.
That's true.
They knocked Miami out of college football playoffs.
I forgot about
single-handedly knocked them out of the ACC championship.
Right. They beat was it UNLV too? That was a
crazy game.
That was a really good UNLV team.
Oh yeah,
it was in UNLV.
Just lost their quarterback too at the time.
Yes,
because he left
no,
the season.
they lost him at the beginning of the season, and they were nasty still.
Yep.
They said, all right,
they were going to be nasty with him.
Dang. Right.
Which I think he'll be a good quarterback in the future. But yeah.
So we've got two other linemen. Armand Membo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not too sure on the offensive line. I do remember the Calvin Banks kid from Texas. He was a center, correct? Did he play center for center for Texas for a while?
He might have.
He may have moved around. He was a stud. I remember watching them against was it Texas A&M where they beat him up? They beat up Texas A&M.
I mean, he was blocking for one of the best offensive in the country.
That's true.
As well.
Then what do you think about the Jags? What are your thoughts on the Jags this upcoming
I don't know
season?
where they go. I really think they need to protect.
I think so too.
They really need to protect T-Law. If you're going to give T-Law one last shot, you better give him a good offensive line and I think they're going to be
decent, dude. I really do. I mean, we were just talking about the Texans. I still think the Texans kind of run that division, but like the Jags are slept on. Brian Thomas Jr. is he's great. Dog.
He's great.
I don't know. Something about this Jags team. They bring in new ownership, new coach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Here's what I'll say what I think the Jags should do. If you're going to take an offensive tackle, don't take him right there.
Yeah.
Drop back a little bit. Drop back to about 10. See if a team like the Chicago Bears will trade up, or maybe like a San Francisco 49ers, and draft Will Campbell. Get assets where you can also stack up and maybe get, I don't know if you can get a second-round pick, but maybe to get into the top 5, you can get a second-round pick, something like that.
Yeah.
Where you can then
I guess it is.
Where then you can maybe draft a wide receiver or a tight end.
Yeah.
Because you just lost Evan Ingram. So if you can add
the backup tight end was pretty good, though, wasn't he? Cole Strange?
Oh, yeah. But I don't think he's like...
He ain't fair.
Yeah. But if you can I think Campbell's the best... Maybe I'm crazy. I think Campbell's the best offensive tackle.
I like that. Yeah, he's a stud.
Very good.
He's very good. Yeah.
Very good. So I think if you can drop back around to that 9-10 spot, add a couple draft picks, add an offensive tackle of the future, and then maybe use those draft picks to move back up to another second-round spot, take a wide receiver or a tight end, and bam.
I like that.
You're getting Trevor Lawrence some weapons.
What position do you think is the most loaded this year overall in the draft?
I think cornerback's very sneaky.
Corner?
I think cornerback secondary is very sneaky. You have Will Johnson towards the top out of Michigan, who's an absolute stud.
Yeah.
I would love to. You have Starks, who I mentioned. You also have Nick Amanawari out of South Carolina.
Yes.
Who's very good.
He's big,
That's
right?
somebody
Is he a big dude? Like big body guy?
A little bit, yeah. More kind of like a, I don't want to say Jabril Peppers build, but like maybe like a JC Horn. Well, yes.
That's what I thought.
He's not like your skinny like Newsome.
Right.
But yeah, then you got like he's somebody I would love Minnesota to take, but he's not going to fall that far.
No.
Siobhan Revel out of East Carolina.
Yep.
Max Harrison, Malachi Starks, I said. Trey Amos out of Ole Miss, who's a stud. So it's very loaded in the secondary.
I think
very
this whole
good.
outside of like quarterback, I mean, most positions are pretty. It's a good offensive line draft, phenomenal edge rusher draft. Obviously, your secondaries and your running backs. Really,
Oh.
I think it's a great running back.
Oh, yeah.
like second, third round.
Live.
Scabadoo. I would be pumped to take him.
And even in like the second round, I think sneaky, not even sneaky because he's on mock drafts in the second round, and this isn't biased, but Allen out of Syracuse.
Yeah,
Like he's had a great year.
I agree.
Great year, and people love him. Like,
Yeah.
Mel Kiper thinks he's like right behind Genty, maybe even better than Hampton.
That's
in
crazy.
terms of running
As a
back.
UNC fan, that's crazy.
No, I know.
I'm going to say this. I think Hampton's going to be better than Genty.
Really?
I do think that. I mean,
Interesting.
I'm
Hampton's
biased.
good. Hampton's
but
great.
dude, he's such a beast.
Oh, he is.
Such a beast. I watch him too much.
And that gives a lot of hope if you don't get Genty right away.
Right.
Or top of that draft, you can get him later on. Or get Hampton later on, I should say.
All right. So next, I want to talk about our 5 through 10. Go through yours. I don't know if you want to like draft it.
I can tell you guys I like in that spot.
Okay. And then I'll give you mine too. I'll have to look, but I'll give you mine.
I'll
give you
tell
mine.
you.
What
I'll
do
tell you
think?
first who will not be touching 5 through 10, or 1 through 10. Shador Sanders.
I knew that was coming. And you want to know what's funny? His papa's backpedaling. Did you see that post?
He's probably realizing.
He said, I think I don't care where my son goes.
Yeah,
I'll be
okay.
happy wherever he goes.
Yeah.
That's not what you were saying earlier there, Shador.
I know, because I think he thought he was the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, he did.
And I never in my mind did I even put him in the top 10.
I struggled. I did because of the hype, but I don't think he should have.
I'm a
there.
fan of
I am
I'm
too.
a fan of Shador.
I think it could be
but
good.
I don't think I know I feel like we talked about this maybe the first episode. I don't think Shador Sanders is the first round quarterback.
Well, that's what I do. You think you don't think he is? Do you think he's going to get drafted in the first? Okay.
Yeah. I think he'll end up going maybe 15 to 25. I think he's gonna fall. Man, I think he'll end up going to a team. It's gonna be sneaky because if Steelers are sitting around,
I was literally just about to say that.
if Steelers are sitting around,
it just
that
clicked in my head.
match made in heaven.
Could you imagine Aaron Rodgers ends up having to retire and Shador Sanders comes in,
Yep.
takes the starting role for the
It'd
Steelers?
be perfect. Maybe that's what they're waiting for.
You think Tomlin and him would kind of? I think they'd be fine. The thing with Shador though that a lot of people don't see, I feel like he's a lot humble. He's a lot more humble than what his dad was. I don't know.
I'll tell you a better match for Mike Tomlin because I think it's the reincarnation of Big Ben. Not the reincarnation, bad comparison. Yeah,
Kirk
you ready?
Cousins, here we
no,
go.
no.
Oh, okay.
No. Another quarterback, similar build coming out of college.
Oh, even worse.
Yup.
Even worse. Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart.
That's what everybody's saying.
I
is
think
Jackson Dart.
I think that'd be a good spot for
I
him.
don't mind it.
Yeah,
I don't
going
mind
deep.
it.
This would be late in the first round.
I could see it. I think Mike Tomlin can develop him well, just like he did with Big Ben.
was
Well, that
cool.
was Cowser, wasn't it?
Well, it was Mike Tomlin and Big Ben came in the league at the same time.
Did they?
Same year because second year maybe it was Big Ben's second year because I think Mike Tomlin went to the Super Bowl in his first year.
I don't remember.
Maybe it was second year because Big Ben won a Super Bowl really quick. Really
06,
quick
he
in
won
the
his-
NFL.
06, 07?
Let's see.
He was drafted 04 because he was with Phillip and who else was it?
06, yep, against Seattle.
Yep.
I think Tomlin could get his Big Ben again.
I'd be pumped. with that.
You
You know how I feel about Jackson Dart. I'm not a big fan.
I know.
But I know a lot of people are, and I'll never hope ill will on a player. I want to see him succeed.
Of course.
Just from my analysis and the games I watched, I didn't think he was that good. But I think coaching is such a big factor
big.
in it. Texans prime example, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago they were garbage, and then 3 years ago, and then they go on to win their division back to back. So I agree. Okay, give me your top
yep.
5. What do you think?
So I mean, I think Genty goes 6 through 10, 5 through 10.
What do you think he goes to?
Probably
We'll say it on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Bears.
Bears.
Yeah, it's gonna be Bears. I think so.
How does that make you feel? You got to be a little bummed. That Bears team is getting
Bears
good.
offensive line's disgusting. I mean, they're disgusting, and the
getting
only
good.
thing is, do the Raiders take them at 6? Are they gonna get that crazy and take them at 6? Which I think they might.
You think so? I hope not. I really
Dude,
hope
I think
not.
they might. They need a running back.
Yeah,
guys.
who is-
It showed they thought Zamir White was the running
He's
back.
awful.
He was not good.
he's
Neither
not
was
very good.
Alexander Madison.
Yep.
And now you have Geno Smith pair him with Genty and a half decent offensive line, could it work? Like I think the Raiders of all people that need a flash are gonna go possibly to him. But it's so funny because I'm looking at this mock draft. The Jets are projected to take Genty, which makes no sense to me.
I wouldn't make it. They have Brees Hall.
Brees Hall.
And Braylon Allen, who's a beast.
Exactly.
Why? And I wouldn't move either of those players. I mean, I know Brees is coming off ACL 2 years ago, I think, but bounced back, had a great season.
Yep.
I love Brees Hall. That Jets team is interesting too.
Oh, it's a very
so interesting.
I think I've loved Justin Fields.
You're not a fan.
No, I am. No,
Okay.
I am. Do love Justin Fields. I don't know why Pittsburgh didn't keep him. I don't know why they transitioned at quarterback.
It's kind of
conversation for another time.
Right.
But I don't know why. Okay, so another guy I like is Mikael Williams out of Georgia.
Okay.
Like I said, Will Campbell. I think he's maybe the best offensive lineman in football. In college football last year, he's one of the best.
Right.
People are throwing McMillan in top 10.
Yep.
I just can't see him going top 10, mainly because I
would love to
I don't
take
see
McMillan.
like the Bears drafting him.
Yeah.
I don't see Carolina drafting him.
Yeah.
Maybe the Saints would, but I don't think they would because I think their time with Chris Olave is coming to an end.
You think so?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be during this season, but I think next offseason. His dad does not seem to like him in New Orleans.
I agree.
Maybe 'cause
he
it's
can't
like-
stay healthy either.
That and there's just like no steady quarterback.
Yeah.
No
I
steady
wouldn't want
quarterback.
to. I mean, Derek Carr's not the guy.
No.
The Saints are screwed, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Saints are in a world of trouble right
Oh
now.
yeah. I think Mason Graham's good too. Out of
Like me,
Michigan,
yep.
great defense.
Mhm.
I think he'll go right there. He could go top 5, but I don't know if he will. So I think that was like 4. I think those are some good players that could go right in that 6 to 10.
I think our top 5 is almost pretty locked in. I
Yeah.
think the one that AI is drawn up here, Cam Ward, Carter, Travis Hunter. The offensive line is where it gets a little interesting between Armando Mabu and Calvin Banks, but I think it's pretty close to locked in.
You know who I real ram throw out just because he's popped in my head. You know what I think is maybe the best defensive tackle in this whole draft, and I think he's one of the best defensive tackles in college football last year is Walter Nolan.
Yes.
Very good. Out of Ole Miss, transfer from Texas A&M.
Yep.
There was a shot he was going to go to Syracuse because the defensive tackle went to Syracuse. I was really hoping for it. Landed in a good spot in Ole Miss. Very good player.
I want that DT from Florida. You know who I'm talking about?
I think so,
Like
yeah.
400
oh,
pounds.
yeah. Get him in the door.
He's a big body.
Yeah, he's like a Sheldon Richardson, man. Well,
Only bigger.
Maybe
Dude,
bigger.
I think he's like 400 pounds. He
Dude.
moves though. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know the story on that kid.
Yeah.
But I just remember seeing him.
I think
when
Walter
I was
Nolan
like,
reminds me of maybe like an Ed Oliver
Yes. Yep.
kind of player.
Mhm.
Who can really, I don't want to
Quick
compare
to
him
the
to
edge.
Aaron Donald. People have, but
Yeah.
he's not that big.
No.
But I
Well,
think
Donald wasn't that big.
no, he wasn't.
He's only 6'2", like 280.
Yep. I think Ed Oliver could be a good comparison for Walter Nolan, which is that's a player you want to be.
Right. Yeah, I don't mind it.
Pro Bowl caliber player.
Who,
every year.
you want to know who I'm a big fan of? I think he's starting to climb too. Is that edge rusher from? Everybody rips on him. Well, they don't rip on him, but I think he falls a little bit because he went to kind of a lower tier school. Marshall, the edge rusher from Marshall.
Oh yeah.
Kid's such a beast. I remember watching him at the Senior Bowl, and he was just. You put him up against anybody, he was just throwing him back.
Oh,
it was nuts.
Marshall can produce some players.
Yes, yeah, I know.
I mean, they got Randy Moss.
Yeah, they did have
the best
Randy
wide
Moss.
receivers of all time.
That is fair. I didn't know that was in West Virginia. I had no clue.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So that's your top 5 there.
So now that we kind of got a little bit of that,
Okay.
how about we move on to who's going to be the chases in the product? I mean, we are a card company.
I
right?
love it. Yeah.
We are a card company. Who do you think are going to be some of the big chases next year's product that you can kind of get a look on right now to prepare for?
I mean, we can all assume, right? I think this is where your skill positions are going to start to take a little bit higher of a factor. I think Travis Hunter coming into the product as a dual threat player, not whether he goes as a corner, whether he goes as a wide receiver, whether he goes as both. I think it's gonna hopefully change the market and the outlook on some of these players. I love the running backs. I think the hype behind Ashton Genty. I think that's really going to booster everything.
Yep.
And then obviously your quarterbacks. Your boy Jackson Dart's going to be up there. Shador Sanders with the hype behind him.
Oh, of course.
Cam Ward. I mean, I think it's pretty cut and dry for the most part. I don't know. What do you think?
I wonder if those 3 will be the only quarterback chases. Like, would there be anybody else kind of?
Cam Ward, Shador.
Will people chase Quinn? Do you think Quinn Ewers?
Yeah.
I think a little bit, maybe like a Spencer Rattler like.
Is he?
Chase.
He's going into the draft, right?
Yeah, but he's
So-
dipping. He's starting to fall.
Well, it's funny
he's
because so a couple of years ago they came out with Collegiate Flawless, and Quinn Ewers was one of the bigger chases. Quinn Ewers and Archie Manning were some of the bigger chases in that product because they had their college gear. So I'm curious to see if that's going to translate it, because you got to think they are coming from a big school, big Texas. You're going to have a lot of collectors in that realm that are going to be collecting him.
Yep.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Do you think people will collect Jalen Milroe?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
It's
I think
very
he's gonna
interesting
be a big chase.
with Milroe because Milroe is projected like a second, third round pick, and he got invited to the draft.
I love
You
it.
don't get invited to the draft unless you're like projected top 20 now. Nowadays, they don't invite many people.
Dang,
So
really?
why was Milroe invited?
You think Milroe to the Steelers?
Could be, but I just don't think they would take him first round. Like so he's currently ranked by ESPN as the 5th best quarterback.
That's
in the
true,
draft.
yeah.
It goes Ward, Sanders, Dart, Show out of Louisville.
Yep.
Tyler Show, who's pretty good.
He's not bad.
Milroe, Howard, Ewers, Gabriel, which is an interesting one.
Really? He's that
And
low?
then McCord.
I mean, he's pretty short. He's a little guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's nice.
He's
nice, though. I like
He's like a
Dylan
Baker-like player, kind
Yeah.
of.
Mhm.
I mean, he had a great season.
He had a great
Unbelievable
season.
season.
That Oregon team was
Very
gross.
good.
It was gross.
Very good. Not
Put
talked
a lot
about
of
enough.
points.
Well, I mean, actually, it was talked about enough because they were like the best team in college football like half the year,
I know.
and then lost in playoffs. I don't remember to who, but
That was so long ago.
folded at the. I know it
Wasn't
feels
even-
so long.
It wasn't
ago
even
now.
that long ago. Who am I
But
kidding?
I would say I think people maybe go after Milroe.
Yeah.
It depends on the situation. I think like if he lands with somehow with like a team like the Browns and they take a quarterback in the second round, I don't think it'll be much as a chase. But he could have a team with like the Raiders maybe.
Do you think he'll start?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
How many?
Maybe with the Browns.
How many of the quarterbacks coming into the draft this year do you think are going to be week 1 starters?
One, maybe 2. I think it depends on where Shedeur lands. Like if he lands with Steelers, yeah, maybe. Or Jackson Dart lands Steelers, maybe. I would say Steelers, Browns, Titans, probably my 3 teams. If a quarterback lands there, they'd probably start. Maybe I'm missing somebody else.
Yeah.
But probably those 3. Unless a quarterback gets hurt, which obviously don't want, but like that would be the only way, I think.
Yeah. I know. I agree. I agree with you. I think it's going to be. Yeah. I truly, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to the Steelers. I think they're going to be drafting one.
I think so too. And if I think
They could get him and then draft one.
I
at
don't
the
think
same
you
time.
draft Shedeur to let him sit behind a quarterback, but I think a Jackson Dart could benefit from sitting behind Aaron Rodgers.
Sitting behind him, yeah.
And hate to do that again with another quarterback.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be a Jackson Dart. Maybe he's ready, maybe he's not.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't hurt him.
No,
he's
I agree.
still sort of young. I mean,
I
he played a good amount of college
I think it's
football.
always a good idea to sit if you're on that tier, you know. If you're not ready for it, don't rush a quarterback into it like Will Levis. Like you want to know a great example of this is Bryce Young. Rushed into the situation, got beat up, benched for a couple games, sat back, and the rest of the season, dude, he looked great. He looked great. I'm curious to see what the Panthers are going to do this year. That's going to be I'm excited for the Panthers.
So I love that you bring that up because I'll bounce down a little bit. We'll come back up.
Yep.
I have Bryce Young as one of my favorite veterans to invest in this season.
Love that.
Because, and it all going off of like
Where are they drafting?
what they did in the offseason.
They'll probably go wide receiver, no?
Well, I don't know, because that's kind of what we were just talking about. Do they go wide receiver? They're at 8, or do they go defense? Because they have Xavier Legette.
Their defense was awful.
Savion Sanders at tight end, who's all right. Do they probably need more receivers? Yeah. I mean, they
But
could
do you
not
think
go wrong.
defense is more important?
I think so. You go like
They
a
re-signed
Michael Williams out of
Adam
Georgia.
Thielen, didn't
Yep,
they?
re-signed Thielen. Or let me throw something out. I know they just extended him. Maybe this is an awful fit. What if Genty fell to Carolina? I know they just re-signed Hubbard.
I love Hubbard.
I
know. They've got somebody else too. Who else do they have there?
They lost Miles Sanders.
No. They drafted somebody last year.
Oh, Jonathan Brooks.
Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
disregard that. Yep.
Yeah.
I got you. Yep.
No, Chuba Hubbard
yeah,
had
okay.
didn't he have 16 touchdowns or something?
He did kill it. So I think they go
don't love
defense.
it.
I think defense or offensive tackle would be pretty solid for
Right.
them. But I think Bryce Young would be a good person to invest in because they didn't get a quarterback to compete with him this offseason.
Right.
Like that he doesn't have that looking over. I'm not that Andy Dalton. He was really looking over his shoulder at Andy Dalton.
Okay. Andy Dalton.
But like,
It's Andy Dalton.
it's his show, and I think this
Right.
offseason not signing somebody to compete with him kind of shows it.
I think so too.
So now go after.
He's going to
it,
have some
kill it.
confidence going into the season.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited. And it's not a very good division. Like, they can go out and, I wouldn't say win. I don't know if they can win the division.
But it's
they
it's
could
open.
compete.
Oh, 100%.
It's open.
It's Tampa.
Tampa's
like,
not getting any
Saints,
better, like, in my
and
opinion.
Falcons. I think if the Falcons go with the Falcons go with
Penix.
Penix, yeah. I'm sorry, Kirk Cousins in my mind.
I know. You love
I
Kirk.
don't think they're like a playoff team.
You don't?
I
Oh.
don't.
See, that's where we differ. I think
I
Penix
know.
is nice. I think
I
they're going to
just-
win the division.
I like
You
Penix,
love
but I'm
Kirk.
just not high on
No,
him.
you just love Kirk.
I
It's
do love-
okay. You
it's-
can say that.
It's Kirksey. It's
you
always
love Kirk.
Kirksey.
It was always Kirk.
It's Kirk O'Chain.
You know, Kirk had a good season
Fine.
last year.
Yeah. Pickett or Young was one of them. Pickett was another one I thought
Pickett's interesting.
just because his market is so low.
Yeah.
It might just take
So-
it might just take one game
So cheap.
and he's
He's
his
a quick
cards-
flip.
Yeah,
You
quick
know,
flip.
he could be a quick.
I'm not saying invest for like the
I bought
future.
some, yeah.
I did too. Literally at the We the Hobby card show.
Yep.
Which shout out, we're having a We the Hobby draft
Yep.
night card show
Saw that.
later in the month. But the last one, I literally was buying Pickett cards. I'm
That's
like,
smart.
this is so cheap. I'm gonna do it. Like
So
this.
sharp.
So one of them was like a Gem Mint 10, Kenny Pickett,
Yep.
silver rookie. Silver. It was like the negative one.
Yep.
Bought it. Dude, he has one game. That $20 card that flips like 50. That's a quick come
That's
up.
what I'm saying.
If I buy 20 of
It's
those,
easy.
I'm rich.
I bought some of his more expensive stuff. Like I
Yeah.
bought one of his true RPAs.
Okay.
I can't remember what I paid for it.
Yeah.
Maybe like $150.
He had a downtown his rookie year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Rookie downtown.
Yep.
Yep. But like if he goes off a couple of games, that
All
could
he needs.
shoot up.
All
you know?
he needs is a couple wins, especially with that defense playing so well.
Sorry. Cam Ward.
Yep.
We're both high on Cam Ward.
Yeah, I love
Do you think he's gonna pan out in Tennessee? When he gets drafted there? I'm gonna say this 100% lock Tennessee drafts Cam Ward.
I think so too. I think it'll work out.
I don't think
just,
it's a question.
I just think he's got the tangibles to do so.
I think so too.
Like I said, he was one of the best quarterbacks in college
You don't
football
think the
last
team
year.
matters?
You know, I think it does, but
Yeah.
I just think it's gonna take a couple seasons.
Yeah.
Like maybe he balls out his rookie year, and you got a big time wide receiver that's like, I want to ball with Cam Ward,
So do you
and that turns into something. I think similar to Houston.
right. I hope so. Who's their head coach over there?
It is Brian Callahan.
Brian Callahan.
Yep. He's all right. He
Mm.
I mean he was they never great record last year, but yeah,
Yep.
he's with the Bengals before.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Wasn't the best rookie coaching season for him.
It was tough. I mean,
was.
it's always tough.
And
you know?
adjusting from a post Derrick Henry era, I mean
Right.
that's not easy.
Right. And
But-
coming from friggin' Joe Burrow, you got
Mhm.
high expectations.
Throw into Calvin Ridley. Hopefully that's a spark early, and then you also have
Calvin
Tony
Ridley.
Pollard
He's got
behind him, which is all right.
Tony Pollard had a great. He had actually.
He picked it up at the end of the season very
right.
well.
The Titans were bad, but like one bright spot, him, Jeffrey Simmons, he's still there.
Yep. I want to say he left. Jeffrey.
Did he? Dang, he was a beast.
Maybe I'm wrong.
He's a beast.
No,
One of-
still with Tennessee.
One of our linebackers went there. He was good. Kenneth Murray,
Oh, I love
Li-
Kenneth Murray. I
linebacker
don't know why
from
he keeps getting thrown around.
Oklahoma. So the thing with Kenneth Murray was,
He's already been on 4 teams.
has he?
Yeah, he's been on Chargers, Arizona,
Yep.
Giants,
Yep.
now Titans.
His biggest thing was like, at least when he was on the Chargers, was he was a good tackler. He was one of the worst coverage linebackers I've ever seen. He looks like a deer in the headlights out there. It's bad. It's bad. Like bad. Put him on run plays. I would tell him to beef up like 50 pounds, play some DT. And he'd be nasty run stop.
Okay, deal. What's interesting with him is sometimes, like, I think the Cardinals more, he was like kind of sliding back safety a little bit.
He was. Because he's not very big.
I know.
But he's a good tackler.
Yeah.
But he sucks in coverage.
He was just such an in-between that
I know.
nobody knew what to do with him.
It kind of
If you could beef up, maybe play some DN,
Right.
or just like a middle linebacker.
Right.
Just sit there.
Like lock in the middle
Just
linebacker.
sit there,
That's
cover
what
the
he
tight
should've done.
ends
We screwed up that year. We got rid of him, which I was okay with, but then we got rid of Drew Tranquil to the Chiefs, and he was, dude, he's nasty.
I know.
He's
He
nasty.
played very well.
He's got the neck roll. Scares me.
Oh, yeah.
What teams? So, do you think the Titans are going to be? I'm gonna start off with: are the Titans going to be a team that wins the draft? And who do you think is going to win and lose a draft? Or do you think they're like a mid? You think they're going to be right in there, like B plus maybe? B.
I
You got to
think
give them a grade.
I think it depends on what like Tennessee does with their other picks. If they can get they can get a really good wide receiver to fall in the second round, like maybe the guy out of Missouri or Ole Miss in the second, the guy
Could
out
do
of Ole
that.
Miss in the second round, I think you win the draft. If you can get Cam Ward and then a weapon like the second, third round,
Mhm.
yeah, I think you already won the draft.
Okay.
In terms of teams losing, would not be surprised if the Raiders butcher their pick at 6.
They tend to do that.
Yeah.
They tend to do that.
And like, what if I don't think they're going to because I think Abdul's locked into 2.
Yeah.
If the Browns go somewhere else to 2, I don't think they should take Travis Hunter, but I think it's a possibility.
Yeah.
I really think it's a possibility.
You think there are going to be a lot of trades in the draft at all, like early?
Probably because there's no massive quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Or like it's not like last year where I think people just move around because they could take there's so many cornerbacks where
Right.
you're like, oh, I'm okay taking this guy at 24 instead of 16 or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
Where you
no.
could see a lot of people bouncing around.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. There's
How do you
always
think the
trades.
Vikings are going to draft?
I don't know. I just don't think they know what they're going to draft.
Do they usually draft well?
It depends on the year.
Yeah.
Like, it depends on the year. Last year, I mean, they drafted Justin Jefferson at 20,
That's true.
22. That was
That's
a great
true.
pick.
Yeah,
I mean, that fell to them.
That's so crazy to me.
But they've had a couple years where it was bad. Drafting Andrew Booth was not great.
Yeah.
Drafting Lewis Sine, not great.
Yep.
JJ McCarthy, good pick. Dallas Turner falling to them
Dallas
last year
Turner's a
was
beast.
unbelievable.
Yeah, that was nice.
They tend to draft well offensive line wise.
Good.
Wide receiver wise, other than Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, hasn't always been amazing.
Yeah.
Just because they took Treadwell and that was such a boss. I remember I bought a Treadwell jersey.
I don't even know who that is.
Laquan Treadwell, who's still shout out him. He's still in the league. I give him so much credit. He bounces
What
around.
position?
Wide receiver. He was out of Ole Miss.
Never even heard of him.
He had so much hype.
What round?
First, he might have been a top 10 pick.
Jeez Louise.
Let's see.
When?
It was probably 11 years. I think he's been in the league for 10 years.
So it's been a minute.
Let's see. Because
That's crazy.
he's bounced around a little bit. He was a 23rd overall pick
Yeah.
in 2016.
2016. Okay. So that's like
Bad pick. I ordered
yeah.
his jersey that draft night. One
That
of
was
the worst.
kind of a-
One of the worst jerseys I've ever bought.
That was kind of a crap draft class, I think.
2016. Yeah, makes
It
sense.
was all right. I mean, you had like Derrick Henry.
He
You
was
had
good though. Very
Zeke.
good. Never pan out. It depends. They can't draft secondary to
Yeah.
save their life. Other than
I
Harrison
know.
Smith, they can't draft secondary to save a life. They're very good at drafting linebackers though.
Well, I mean, in their
Very good at
defense,
drafting
like
linebackers.
we never really got to see the secondaries that they drafted.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
Sign broke his leg.
Yep.
Booth was always hurt.
Right.
Haven't seen much of Blackman. Oh, we saw a little bit, but yeah, they just haven't been able to draft secondary very well. But linebacker, they do very well. Chad Greenway, what a
Yep.
great draft pick. You also have Ivan Pace, great
He's
draft
great.
pick.
Love Ivan
Anthony
Pace.
Barr,
You
like-
guys drafted Anthony Barr.
Yep.
You know who
prime
the-
Anthony Barr was great, and Eric Hendricks.
I was
Eric Hendricks is-
literally just about to bring
one of my
him up.
favorite players of all time.
Did you know that we took him? He was awful for us. He was
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
bad.
I know.
Eric Kendricks,
One of my favorite players of all time.
Screw that guy.
Very good player. I think
he was a beast with you guys.
I think a
remember.
great human being too.
Yeah, yeah,
Just from
super
what I've seen,
nice.
I don't know him,
Yeah.
but like seems very good. They draft linebackers very
Yeah.
well. At least over the last like 20 years, drafting very well.
Did you see Travis Hunter sign with Panini?
I did.
do you
I
thought?
think it's
What are your thoughts?
I think it's great for Panini. It's just what is it great with the whole licensing thing?
That's
like
what I'm saying.
how is that going to work?
I don't.
Is Panini foreshadowing something?
Even
just
if they
don't know.
are, I mean, half these players aren't. Most players aren't signed with them.
I know.
So I don't know.
But I mean, it's a great splash.
I agree.
If you got
huge
it's
splash.
a great splash.
Yeah, no.
'Cause
I'd be
if-
pumped if I was Panini. you know?
Especially like
I'm excited to rip his product.
Oh, of course.
So
And
it's
he's
gonna
going to be
be
a big
sick.
chase, so locking him down was massive.
Yep.
I don't know, it's just interesting.
Yeah. No, I
Very,
agree.
very interesting, but it had to be, I mean, if they want to stay afloat, it has to be done.
Hops is getting NBA and NFL licensing
Yep.
in the future, which means debut patches for football and basketball are coming. We talked a little bit about this on what was it, 2 pods ago, last pod? I think both of our pods.
Yep.
What's your overall census on that whole situation? And like, does this mean Travis Hunter's not going to be able to have those? Like, that's another thing, you know. Like, are we going to have that patch and not sign? Almost like Wemby.
Yeah, I guess we don't know yet because
Right.
baseball, where it kind of all started,
Right.
everybody's with tops.
Yeah.
Like, those were, you start basically with tops. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I listen, like, the more I think about it, the more I think it's cool because who wouldn't love to buy like the first jersey?
I agree.
Just to say Aaron Judge ever wore an MLB game.
Right.
But you get a little piece of it on a card.
I love
you don't
it.
get the full jersey.
Yeah.
You get a little piece
And
of
that's
it on
fine.
a card.
That's fine.
which
That's
is
what that represents.
Like Aaron Judge can keep that. I
Right.
get this. You both get a part of that historic
History.
day, especially if they go down to be a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Like, which Aaron Judge I think will be. Like, you have a part of history. His debut game.
I agree.
Which is unbelievable.
I agree. And that's why, like, I'm not the biggest, I'll be completely honest, I'm not the biggest fan of them doing like the all-star ones that we talked about.
I was just about to bring
Because
that
then
up.
it's
I was
just too
about to
much.
bring that
It's
because
just
they do
too
that in
much.
baseball.
Yeah.
They have the all-star patches.
Don't do Pro Bowl. Don't do this. Don't do Super Bowl. Super Bowl would be kind of cool.
It would be cool.
Super Bowl would
That'd
actually
be a tough one to get.
that'd be so sick
I
though.
know. Imagine if that booklet the other day that Justy pulled had like
Super
the
Bowl
Super Bowl logo
patch.
on the booklet. It probably you'd only get it for the 1-on-1, but
Yep.
like that'd be pretty cool.
That would be sick.
That would have been
A
pretty cool.
Super Bowl debut.
It's
patch?
just to get that.
Right.
I don't know how that's gonna.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
And maybe I don't even know because
So-
the player probably won't give that up.
Well, speaking of like overdoing it, I saw the other day that you pulled one of the craziest patches out of IMAC basketball's here, by
See,
the
I'm
way.
yeah.
IMAC basketball's
I've
here.
been waiting for a long time.
Love IMAC
They
basketball.
pushed it back months. That's supposed to come out in like January. It's April.
They're known for putting out like kind of crazier pieces.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing a clip of what was it, Hakeem Olajuwon? You know those Reebok pumps?
Yeah.
They had a
yeah.
game worn pump.
Yeah.
I was like, that's sick.
Yep.
But like you had the shoelaces card.
No, that was fascinating. I didn't know that like because it surprised a lot of people. I thought maybe like because I've seen the cleats. Like when
Right.
the cleats are popping out.
Right.
I
we
guess
pulled a Walter Payton one,
Really?
game worn, and it had like dirt all in it. It was out of Flawless.
that's cool. Yeah, I
20,
pulled like a
17
Jalen
Flawless.
Carter 101 of that out of Flawless.
So sick.
No, it was so cool because I can tell when there's a cleat. I mean, you could probably
Oh,
tell
yeah.
when there's
I mean, it's-
because it's like lopsided,
Yeah, it's lopsided. It was not player one.
not player one.
Not player one.
Then you know, it
Thank
was
you, Noah.
it's like
No,
lopsided.
pull that up for me. Sorry.
It was like it's got that angle on the
Yeah.
box where you're like, okay, so but I was like, what on the basketball side
It's gonna
would
have this.
create? I literally said it. They're like massive shoes. Literally right when I opened it, I was like, what is going on? But then I see these laces falling out. I'm telling you, Connor, I wanted to untie it so bad.
I was thinking the same thing with the video. I
I
was
wanted
like,
to untie it so bad.
Just
And
my
the buyer
OCD
was
wise?
like, dude, if I was there in person with you,
I would've
he was
untied
like,
it.
I would, we'd untie it together. He's like, you're ever down in Nashville, Tennessee? We're untying it together.
that's
Just
so
because
funny.
I didn't know. It's just like yeah, it's
Right.
yeah, it's me. It's just me wanting to get creative.
Yeah, no, I
just
agree.
wanting to untie it and just see what happens. Then I have to tie it back up. But what if I like untie it and then the shoelaces just come?
It just all
falling
falls
off?
out.
But then the
I
next
think
question,
it's glued in. I think it is. I'm pretty sure.
what do you do with that card?
You
I
can't.
don't think
you
there's
can't-
top loaders
can't grade
big
it.
enough. Like
Can't grade it.
I would love to just send it to PSA, see what they do with it.
I don't think they do.
I know, just-
BGS. Beckett
Right.
might do something.
Like they can't.
They put them in a
flatten that
slab
down.
like the size of a book.
Mm,
No,
interesting. Like I just don't know what you do with it.
I don't know.
You put it in
either.
like a little baggie.
Yeah, you put it in a little bag.
There's just no top loaders big enough to slide that into at all.
Maybe that's something we
Maybe.
got. Maybe
I
that's
mean-
something we got to come up with.
I know our own design, patent pending.
Freaking 1,080 top
Mhm.
loaders that are like a book's
Oh
width
yeah,
size. I don't
IMAC
know.
does have its like shoes. A little bit of it's not the pump like what you were talking about, but
Right.
like they have their sneaker patch autos.
Yeah.
You just get a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, IMAC so far so good. Release days this week for Hobby. That'll be electric. I mean, it's still Wemby's year. This will be the second to last Wemby product on
Yep.
the Panini side. We'll have Flawless end of April
I'm pumped for
if
that.
it stays that way.
Yep.
Oh,
Choice release too, didn't it? Or was
Choice
this
just released.
was this a
Connor.
mega?
I'm sure you've experienced this many times, and it sickens me every time. But we pulled a 101 the other day. Another 101. It was a quad 101. And
sick.
wouldn't you know, Victor Wembanyama's on that.
You have to
Number
do
2
this.
overall pick. Brandon Miller's on it. Derek Lively. And Jaime Jaquez. It's a quad 1 of 1. It's who knows how much the card sells for. Chat thought maybe 10 to 20. What do you do with it?
You have to
And-
random it.
But we didn't. We actually didn't. We let them handle it. We got a whole verification process and everything because
Cool.
I just felt sick.
I love that.
I could not.
And that's okay. I mean, that's okay as
I
a
know.
breaker, from breaker to breaker.
know.
That's the way you should handle that situation.
I just didn't know what to do, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel sick. Because I duck raced a triple 101 Nike swoosh out of Flawless. It was Jack Smith and Jigba,
Right.
Say Flowers, and I think Puka.
Right.
That made me sick. this made me even sicker. It's
And
Victor Wembanyama.
If anybody listening doesn't know what a duck race is, it's our way of randomizing between, 3 or 4, however many people are on the card. Like, let's say you have, a team. Let's say it's a booklet of 3 players, and you have one of the 3 players, and another person has one of the 3 players, and another person has one of the 3 players. It's our way of randomizing to know where that card goes.
And I won't go into too much detail because not necessarily my business, but basically what they did is bought each other out.
Did they? That's cool.
Yep, that was
cool.
that's how they figured it out, and one person took it home, and
You know what team took
everybody
it home?
won.
You don't have to tell me.
It was the Hornets.
Was it the Hornets?
I think it was the Hornets. And if somebody would have had 2 of them, they would have got majority.
The Jaime Jaquez guy bought it out.
Yeah,
I was like, what a beast.
I know, right? You're like, I need this, but yeah, they ended up buying each other out. Everybody ended up being happy.
Nice.
Everybody was so excited. I
Nice.
mean, you won. I don't want to say like the quick flip, but
Right.
like, they didn't have to wait to like get the card.
It's the name of the game.
Name of the game is so
No, I
cool,
agree.
but I couldn't let it happen. I just felt sick. I had to call Justy, and I'm like, Justy, what do we do?
Yeah,
I
that's
was
a
like,
good card.
I can't do all this. And the thing is, if I'm sick over this, what happens when we pull the Victor Wembanyama like LeBron dual logo, man?
Right.
Out of flawless, because count that. That's I'm putting that down, booking it. WeTheHobby's put.
I mean,
pulling
there
that.
have been any of those big logo mans. I'm sure they'll handle it. I mean, unless they're really risking it for the biscuit, which, I mean, all kudos to them if they want to do that. But
I will say we did end up duck racing for the blanks and giggles. We did.
Really?
Yeah, I think the Heat won.
Did they? Of course.
And they were like, "Oh,
no,
crap."
we should have ran it.
so we had to. They were like, "You can't not."
That's too
They were like, I just gotta know. I just gotta know. But yeah, immaculate, awesome. So excited for this week, next week, and
good price point on it.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it's Wemby. It's Wemby.
I was excited for Deca, and then FOTO came out and it was $6,000 a box, and I'm like, well,
dude, I was hitting on Deca this
stuff
week.
is beautiful.
I was hitting on Deca this week. I had like gold Bo Nix to 10.
So sick.
Jaden Daniels, green shimmer. I had like green shimmers of everybody. Justin
Herbert. I know, it was
black
so
shimmer
sick.
auto.
Everybody was telling me in my
That
chat.
was a beauty. That was really
jealous.
cool. I think that was. I mean, he's probably other than like your rookie signees like JJ McCarthy and Penix.
Probably
that
the
might be-
bigger
That might be the
signer.
biggest quarterback signee, maybe, unless I'm wrong in that product.
We had Joe
Herbert's
Burrow.
definitely
Joe
up
Burrow
there.
does. Herbert
Nah,
signs in a lot of stuff.
He does. Good for
Burrow
him.
doesn't.
No,
Hurts kind of is. Hurts in there. By now.
I don't know. Maybe I'd have to look at the full chat. I'm not usually on football, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
I've been on basketball so
That's
much
fair.
lately, but yeah, one of the biggest quarterbacks signing in the thing. Today's 1-on-1 black shimmer is pretty cool.
That is sick.
I feel like honestly, I've been a Herbert magnet. I pulled like half of Herbert's 1-on-1s out of flawless too.
That's good.
Like we had,
I know.
I just had so many of him. I don't know what it was. Just
Nate and Tyler,
Herbert kept flying in.
Nate and Tyler out of I think it was 22 or 21 or 22 flawless hit the sickest. You know the Lone Star swatch? Or it's not Lone Star. It's like the star swatch patch.
I know what you're talking about.
They hit the Justin Herbert shield of that card. Take a guess at what that sold for. I was surprised.
Was his rookie year?
No. Year 2 or 3.
33K.
No, not that much.
Too much. Okay.
I think it was like
I was
I think it was like
expecting him
22,
Oh, that's not bad.
22,000. Pretty sick, dude.
Okay.
I'm pumped about that.
Oh yeah, especially since I'm sure the Chargers weren't a crazy like price point to get in on.
No,
Maybe unless
not
it was
at
like
all.
auction, but
We
like
didn't have anybody. We didn't have anybody in that draft. That was the year we drafted Rashawn Slater, I think. So-
oh yeah,
or Zion Johnson.
that's great.
Yeah.
Shows where the market is now.
Yeah,
We talked
no, I agree.
about like last week and the week before. Just
You want to know
it's
what's
just crazy.
so one thing that's kind of funny, and this is off topic, but we were talking earlier about players, what players are going to be chased in this product, and so we had drafted Joe Alt, and he was in Prism this year.
He was, yeah.
His
signed.
card prices are insane.
I know
dude.
they are.
I wonder if offensive line is going to start to
It could.
pick up. Obviously, Joe Hall
He-
had an incredible
he-
season.
Yeah, very. It's tough. He's such
You
an
know?
exception. He was very.
You're
well
right.
known.
Maybe
But
was
like
he an
I get
exception?
it. I
Was
get
he?
it. I 100% get it.
I'm gonna start buying Mekhi Becton cards.
Dude, I'm sure his
I'm going
market
to.
is like so low.
It is.
So dude,
Yeah.
if he has a good
Might
season.
start a PC.
It's just like what makes the market go up.
Right.
Like the thing is with offensive line, I feel like is
just the hype
is it a
behind the
little
player.
bit like of your quarterback? Like
Could be.
is it? It's interesting because it's not probably not solely on you.
Right.
Like I just don't know. What do you grade it? Pancake blocks, like
That's true.
pressures,
Yeah.
or total sacks allowed? I
Yeah.
just don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I wonder if like Joe Alt is like the first player to really like come into a draft and where his rookie cards actually sell well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, Joe Alt's a stud. People always like stop hyping up offensive linemen whenever I was selling
Offensive
this year's
line,
product. I was like, Joe Alt.
Yeah.
Like you have Joe Alt and Ladd McConkey
Right.
and Herbert signing like every product. So
I'm
that's-
flattered.
I
I'm
know.
flattered.
No, I'm
Dante.
hyping him up
Thank
for you. So I will say before we kind of wrap everything
Yeah.
up, my sleeper of the draft,
Yes.
another very biased because I'm biased, obviously. My biggest sleeper of the draft, Pat Bryant out of Illinois.
Okay.
He's a wide receiver out of Illinois, 10 touchdowns this year, 984 yards total. Longest 64. He was averaging 18.2 yards per catch. Dang. 18. I watched this guy play. Absolute stud.
What round is he projected?
I don't even know. He was invited to the combine.
Okay. All right.
He's probably like 5th, 6th. I think he's a stud.
You said 18?
What'd I say?
18 yards?
18.2 yards per catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How have I've never heard of this
He's
guy.
very
That's ridiculous.
Good. Very good.
Okay.
Good dude too. Good to talk
Love
to.
it.
Easy. He had Luke Altmaier throwing him at quarterback in a system with Barry Lunny as offensive coordinator, Brett Bielema head coach. Very good player. Illinois was pretty good this year too.
Yes. Yeah.
Pretty
I
good
remember
this
seeing
year.
an OT game with them. It was like 5 OTs or something. Who was that against? Somebody not very good or really, really good. I think
Well, there was a Penn State game a couple years ago. Don't tell Ben, or actually everybody at our company, because apparently we hire a lot of Penn State people.
We do. Aaliyah.
Ben, Jamal, Toby. There's so many. I'm trying to look up real quick. Which OT game? Because they loved good OT.
Was it 34,
there was
33
there
or
was
something?
the 2 years ago. There was was it not Indiana, Minnesota game that was crazy in OT. I don't know if any of them went. Yeah, none of them went. Purdue.
Purdue.
Yes.
That was
Purdue was a shootout. That was 49-50 in that one. They had some close games, but yeah, I love Pat Bryant. I just had to get that that minute out of me hyping up Pat Bryant because I watched that dude play up close. Very good size.
Nasty.
Too. Very good size on Pat Bryant. He's let's see. I'm trying to look up his height. Sorry, I'm stalling. Let's see. 6'3". 6'3", 200 pounds. Good size wide receiver.
A little skinny though.
Yeah.
A little thin.
But he's the guy that will moss you.
I love that.
No hesitation. He'll get up. He'll also he's very good on the boundaries. Like he will make those catches on the sideline, stay in, and take you downfield.
That's sick.
Also very sneaky as a crossfield route. I just want to hype him up.
No, I love that.
I think he's a stud.
I've got one.
Okay, hit me.
And I'm gonna have you look him up and you read his stats.
I know
okay?
exactly what you're gonna say. I saw a hype video on this.
Did you?
Go.
Sean Dolak
Yep.
from the University of Buffalo. One of my old buddies. I played college lacrosse with him. His younger brother. You can just break it down. I believe he led college football in tackles the last 2 years.
It's so funny. I literally saw this whole video. I don't remember who it was, but they were breaking. It was maybe it was NFL Network breaking down his film, breaking down his stats.
He's not projected to be drafted.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Doesn't make sense.
He had 168 total tackles, 81 solo, 87 assists, 5 interceptions.
Dang, I didn't know that.
And a touchdown too.
That's sick.
5 pass deflected, 6 sacks.
Not bad.
Oh, not bad.
As a middle linebacker.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know.
Very good player. It's so funny because I literally saw a video the other day.
What's his
I thought
size?
of Connor.
What are his
He
attributes?
is 6'1", 221.
What is that? A little undersized, little small, 220?
A little bit. It's not bad. It's
220 for a
honestly,
linebacker?
those are some of the linebackers these days. It's
That's
those
true.
sneaky ones
Yeah.
that are the undersized because they can move. They can play.
That's Jeremiah. Jeremiah Wosu-Koramoah is a great example. I think he's only 200.
Yep, they can play.
Maybe.
They can play in covered.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what you need. Why I'm telling you, we do have our run heavy offenses, but it is such a pass heavy league right now.
It is. That's true.
Where you need those linebackers that can play the field
And kind of fly
especially
around.
when we got so many good tight ends these days.
Yeah.
And 2 more right at the top of the draft.
Yep.
You need that. You need that player to move.
Off to again another. He's not a sleeper. I don't think.
Bowling Green.
The tight end from Bowling Green. He's so
See,
good.
We're in sync now.
How did you know I was gonna say that? That's crazy.
I just know he's a good
He
player.
hit 1,600 yards. He broke every record last year.
Yeah.
Why the heck was this kid at Bowling Green? Shout out Bowling Green
I know.
University,
The tight
college,
ends
I
are.
don't know.
I mean, there are a lot of tight ends that come out of the big schools, but there's a lot of tight ends that sneak from
Antonio
just a
Gates.
random school.
Where did Antonio Gates go to college? You should know this. That's crazy.
Antonio Gates. I don't even know. I don't know why I'm envisioning like blue and green.
They're blue. Blue and yellow, though. You want me to give you a big hint? They were the worst team in college football this year. Worst.
I was thinking like San Jose State, but
Nope.
no. The worst team in college.
Kind of up near here a little bit. It's not New York State, but it's
Delaware.
nope. More north. Should we end it here and see if we should clip
Dude,
this
well,
part
this is my
and
iconic
see
thing.
if they can figure it out.
This is my iconic thing too because we play this game every day in chat because
Yeah.
I beat
You're sharp.
everybody. But there are certain players I don't know if like I wasn't like in high school or whatnot when
That's
they were
fair.
drafted. Like it's gonna take me a minute. But other than that,
You want
I'm
me to
usually
give
good.
you want me to give it away?
Tell me the state.
Ohio.
Oh, Kent State.
Julian Edelman went there.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna
Kent
say.
State.
Yep.
Yeah,
Kent
they
State
were
boy.
awful this
They
year.
were the worst team.
That's where
They've
dude,
been really bad.
yeah, isn't that? Oh no, he went to Toledo. I was gonna say
Who?
Kareem Hunt, but he went
Yep.
to he went to Toledo.
Toledo.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Oh,
Well-
there you go. Perfect.
That's a way to close it out.
Make sure, as we wrap up, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Download, follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow all of our Instagram pages. Also do have a Buying the Hobby Instagram page now.
Get a little traction.
Posting a lot of content.
Yep.
Oh yeah, never know what may come. Also, send in a question.
Send in some questions. Okay?